Qualifying for a mortgage, your income is one of the key factors used by lenders to determine how much home you can afford. In this video, I'm going to show you examples of home affordability at different income levels, how lenders determine if you can afford a home or not, and why the amount of home you can afford doesn't always equal the amount of home you're comfortable paying for. The two most common types of mortgages used by home buyers are conventional and FHA. Depending on the type of mortgage you're obtaining, the amount of home you can afford in the lender's eyes will be different. This is because home affordability is measured heavily by your debt to income ratio, your DTI. The DTI is a comparison of your monthly debts and your monthly gross income, so your income before taxes are deducted. Conventional mortgages cap your housing and total DTI at 50%, where FHA mortgages cap you at 47% for housing, but 57% for your total debt ratio. Now, a housing DTI is the new housing payment divided into your gross monthly income, where the total DTI is the new housing payment plus any other debts you have divided into your gross monthly income. So if you're obtaining an FHA mortgage, you'll typically be able to afford more than if you were using a conventional mortgage. So let's look at home affordability at three income levels for both conventional and FHA loans. So income level one, let's say $40,000 a year, which is $3,333 per month. If we were to look at a conventional mortgage, knowing we can go to 50% on the best case of that income, that's $1,666 per month that can go toward either the housing expense or the total expenses, including the housing, right? If you were at the same income level, but going FHA, that means the maximum housing payment that you can have under FHA guidelines is $1,566, about $100 less than conventional for the housing alone. Now, if you have other expenses, you can go higher than that, but your housing payment can't be more than that number. This is likely a $200,000 home, putting anywhere from 3 to 5% down. Now, if your income doubles, whether you make more money or you have a second borrower and together you're at $40,000 each, which gives you $80,000, that's $6,666 per month. And at 50% debt to income ratio on a conventional loan, it allows for $3,333 per month to go toward your expenses. It can either be your total housing expense or all of your expenses combined with the new housing. If you were going FHA, well, at 47% for housing alone, your payment would actually be $200 less. $3,133 would be your cap, which is 47% of that income. But still, you're looking at something in the $400,000 range with 3 to 5% down. Now, let's say your income went up another 50%. Now we're at $120,000 per year, which is $10,000 per month. At 50% debt to income, that's $5,000 per month on a conventional loan that can go toward your housing or a combination of your housing plus your other expenses. That same $10,000 at a 47% debt to income ratio for housing alone with FHA financing would put you at $4,700, likely a $600,000 home with 3 to 5% down. Now, it's important to understand that lenders are going to look at all of your monthly debt and not just the new housing payment when determining how much home you can afford. This is where the total DTI comes into play. So in reality, you can have a borrower who makes $80,000 per year with no other debt qualify or afford, in the eyes of a lender, more than someone making $120,000 annually who has substantial debt. So although lending guidelines allow for debt ratios as high as what I've referenced in this video, not all lenders will allow for those. Most lenders have overlays, what are known as additional guidelines on top of these guidelines that were set forth by Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and HUD. So if a lender does have overlays that are in place, it makes things more difficult to qualify for. Typically, because they actually don't want to put borrowers in a position where they're likely to default on their payments. Since lenders are qualifying you off of your gross income, meaning your pre-tax income, the amount you qualify for may not be truly affordable to you. This is why it's a good idea to come up with your own affordability calculation and not just depend on what the lender is willing and able to do. I believe a good rule of thumb is to use 30% of your gross income and run numbers based on that figure. This is going to leave a cushion for other expenses that the lender wouldn't even consider but actually exist. So now you can see that affordability depends on various factors, including your income, your saving, debts, and even the property location. Affording a home on $40,000 salary may be challenging without financial windfall, but it's worth you checking out my other videos, which provide tips on how to make homeownership more affordable for any buyer. If you enjoyed this video and found the information useful, please subscribe for more videos just like this one. Also, don't forget to leave a comment about your specific scenario or any questions you might have from the information I just discussed. I respond to 100% of the messages I receive.